Okay, so today we're not going to start off with meditation because I'm going to talk a little bit about how we might meditate together today, how we might inquire. Okay, so we are here. Uh, what does it mean to be here? Can you hear me, Mike? Oh, good. Okay. How do I exist? Say to yourself, how am I here? How do I exist? What is the naked reality of my being here now? So we're going to pay attention to our immediate experience. So, in the precepts and in the statements of the Center for Sacred Science, as it is you might say a translator for all the ancient authentic traditions, there's four principles that we hopefully are living by. And they're to be found in any authentic ancient tradition of spiritual path on the way to awakening. Paying attention, committing, detaching from our habitual thoughts, habit energies, shenpa, propensities, karmic, habituated, stuck like glue contents of our mind and emotions. So detaching from those. And then, of course, surrendering to the reality of who we actually are. So the last couple of talks I gave were on the four seals of reality, which I'll quickly mention, and then how to cultivate attitude when asked by let's see, what was the name of the bodhisattva who asked the Buddha? in the sutra, in the Samadhi Raja Sutra, the bodhisattva by the name of Youthful Moonlight asked the Buddha, how can a brave warrior, male or female, a brave bodhisattva, quickly accomplish awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings? And the Buddha gave an answer, which are cultivating four attitudes of mind related to the four seals or the four principles of reality. So just quickly, the four principles of reality: your reality, whether you know it or not; my reality, whether I know it or not, moment by moment. All composite things, all appearances are interdependent. They're depending on too numerous to count causes and conditions, all leading to these appearances arising momentarily in the space of our mind. All composite appearances are impermanent, whether they be our mind, our emotions, our experience, our thoughts, our what we see, what we hear. Absolutely all phenomena are impermanent. And this one's so important. Hi, Ellie. It's always so good to see you. You're so curious and attentive. All selfish, all self-centered emotions are always painful. Now, unless you're paying really close attention, you're not going to agree with that one. All the appearances, all the phenomena that we experience inside and outside have absolutely no personal or individual identity. They are a composite. They are a gathering of causes and conditions arising in the space of our mind. And when we go beyond our self-centered states of mind that are completely conditioned and habituated to arise over and over and over again. To transcend this, to offer these habituated self-centered states of mind, to be liberated by giving them up, by recognizing them rather than being identified with them, passing beyond these self-centered states is peace. The peace beyond all understanding. So the question for us, let's start with it and then we'll progress a little and then we'll do a meditation. Can we know this way of our being moment by moment, this reality? Can we know this as we are? Every here again, gone, here again. How can I know this here and now? Can we study? Can we practice? This is what practice is. Can we inquire while we're experiencing? What is the reality of our experience in any given moment? So is our practice, right? A lot of people say, I don't have time to practice. I just don't know. I'm too busy. Don't have time. Is our practice the moment by moment study, attentive, curious awareness of inquiry into our immediate experience over and over and over again? Now, it sounds very much effort needs to happen for this to happen, but really not. It's just a shift in perspective. And the greatest shift in this perspective is our capacity to relax, to literally physically relax in our subtle body, in our coarse body, in our busy, reactive mind, and be attentive simultaneously. Now, when we sit in formal meditation, we are trying to cultivate this, right? Those are the two things we're hoping we will rest into, and they will emerge spontaneously in the stream of our knowing, our being. Relaxation, openness, open-mindedness, open body, relaxation with every breath, resting in the true nature that is not so turbulent and all entangled and wrapped up in all our fixations of craving and pushing away. Yes, that's what we're attempting to do. But we're not just doing that for relaxation. We're doing that so that the insight, the samadhi, the concentration that is relaxed and simultaneously very attentive and vivid and clear, can emerge naturally and see clearly what is going on moment by moment. So basically, our moments of inquiry must be balanced in relaxation and attentiveness. So how can we practice in a way that really makes a difference for myself and for every other sentient being that I will come face to face with? Because that's our goal, right? To serve, not to harm, and when possible, to help alleviate suffering. So how to practice in a way that will really make a difference? Inquire what we are, how it feels moment by moment to be, what the nature of our being is like. What is it like? Something is here. Something here is. What is that something that is here and is experiencing? what does it mean to exist? And how can we practice in a way so that we could become clear about this? Well, the 4 seals of reality, I already forgot. Did I say them? Yeah, I did. Okay. All composite things are impermanent. Self-centered emotions are painful. Phenomena that appears has no individual identity. And going beyond our self-centered states of mind is peace. So we have to ask ourselves, whatever we experience, does it last or not? So that's the first place we place our attention. So the last time I was talking about this, Joel said, well, isn't this the 4, attention, detachment, commitment, surrender? I said, yes, it is. But what is it that we're attentive to? What is it we are detaching from? What are we committed to? And what are we surrendering to? That's the inquiry. So the guideline is there, and the inquiry, we need some assistance with how we inquire. So whatever we experience, does it last or not? Physical things, relationships, our contents, our emotions. Not just thinking about this now as a theoretical, oh yeah, I know that. All of this is impermanent. It's all temporary. It's all transient. That does not affect our inquiry moment by moment. Just knowing that does not mean that we're inquiring and catching when we are identified with grasping or aversion, or catching when we are lost in trains of thought that's getting us all entangled and worked up. Just knowing things are impermanent is very, very different than recognizing the action of attention on objects in appearances, in awareness, that I'm completely identifying with. Very, very different. Again and again, whatever is arising in my mind, does it last? Well, that's an easy one. It does not. Everything changes. How does it feel to be with my reactions in this moment to whatever appearances are arising? When I like something, when I dislike it, what does it feel like? So this now is just bringing attention more closely in on our naked, immediate experience. What does it mean to get all hung up on some emotional state? To get contracted because I'm getting what I don't want, or I'm not getting what I do want? How does this feel? And then knowing, is there a difference being open and relaxed and willing, spacious, versus all caught up in some self-centered emotion? So questioning this just by looking, simply by placing our attention inwardly on the contents of our experience and how I'm reacting to the experience. So the reality of the self-centered emotion being disturbing and painful, we've got to come face to face and feel that and know that, rather than be lost and identified with it. Self-centeredness is disturbing and painful. So the emotions that we try to avoid, like craving, pride, competitiveness, aversion, while it's happening, we are completely aware that it's happening. And we recognize it's diseaseful. It's not easy. It's uneasy. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's disturbing. And because of this truth, we're always attempting to adjust the disturbance, to make it better, to make the pain go away, to make the discomfort go away. If we're too hot, the animals do this all the time. The little lizards, if it's too hot in the sun, they go to the shade to do their pull-ups. You know, they just move. We make adjustments. Well, we are always adjustment, and it's adjusting, and it's keeping our mind and our attention moving all over the place to alleviate the discomfort and the pain, the dukkha, the unsatisfactory nature of any and everything that's happening. So we're usually going so fast, we do not notice the depth of our dis-ease. We just get distracted from one thing to another. And so there's a kind of furtive busyness and distractedness always going on. And it's very difficult to simply rest, relax, and open when we're always trying to adjust our uneasiness. So our ideas are either tuned to reality. What are our ideas? We're always labeling and interpreting everything that's going on. But our ideas and labels are conditioned by ignorance. We're reacting over and over again. So what is this that is experiencing all these appearances and reacting in a conditioned manner that's calling this whole process me, mine, I, myself? Our inquiry, our job, our commitment must be to find out what the reference I, me, mine, my is referring to. Do I keep looking? Do you keep looking? Do I keep looking and finding nothing that I can call a me or mine? Do I open up and inquire deeply enough to be at a loss as to what this I who knows is? Well, if you were really honest, you probably say, no, I'm just going from one distracted moment of reaction to another. So if we calm down, slow down, even waiting impatiently on a line at the grocery store, and you just exhale and just allow a momentary release from whatever it was you were fixated upon, a thought, a feeling, an emotion, impatience, thought of the future, thought of the past. Just a moment of breathing out and finding open spaciousness. That is practice. In that moment, our basic reality is indescribable. You can't name it. You can't find it. It has no center. It's groundless. It is this emptiness, awareness, spaciousness. Like space, knowing. Knowing, spaciousness. So in this moment, this is practice. The release, the letting go, the detaching from our habituated emotions and thoughts. And then we might feel, being with whatever it is that's coming up, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, being while not being. They're happening together. As things are arising, they're falling apart. If we pay attention, relax more deeply, and practice letting the flow of appearances in the space of awareness, the dance, with the strong feeling of I am, I'm here, I'm now, I'm being. Allowing this in the relaxed openness of awareness while clearly attentive, that is the inquiry. And it doesn't have an answer. It will never find an answer. It is an unnameable, unknowable, groundless experience. Are you brave enough to inquire on that level? Step by step, our path will lead us to deeper and deeper inquiry, which leads us to, I should say, not deeper and deeper, just momentary inquiry with whatever's happening. Enough is enough, as well as you can, momentarily. And this momentary inquiry leads us to deeper insights about our naked immediate experience. Wow, we see how quickly everything's changing. We see how, as it's arising, it's changing before our very eyes, unless I get fixated and entangled in it because I want this and I don't want that. So the craving and the aversion. And in this way, we call craving a kind of greediness, wanting this to be like this, the way I want it. I. This ego that doesn't exist, but this selfing, I want, I don't want, is the aggression. The aggression we do to ourselves with things we don't like about our experience that we feel we should not be experiencing. Violence towards that and aggression identified with these attitudes of mind. We need to see this and feel this. This is what brings us closer to reality and out of our ignorance, just by seeing rather than identified with, merely knowing, merely feeling all these appearances arising in the space of our awareness, within our senses and in our mind stream. So then, how do we go beyond all my conditioned false assumptions and self-centered emotions? So there we are, attention, commitment, detachment, surrender. So where do I look? I look right in this moment where something is always being laid bare. And what's being laid bare nakedly is something I can trust. But I usually don't allow that openness. It's too uncertain and it has no answers. Is it painful to be self-centered? Is it painful to be disappointed? Is it painful to be resentful because I'm not getting what I want from you or from the situation? Is it painful when I get what I want, but I'm still not satisfied? The next moment I need something else. So simply, merely being aware of something's wrong, there's not enough of satisfaction in all my activities. I'm never satisfied. Simply being aware of the lack of satisfaction, this dukkha, this suffering, the unsatisfactory nature of all my immediate experience, and my desire, and my aggression, my aversion, my craving. That's like being bitten by a wasp. Merely knowing it is the stinger is pulled out. By merely knowing it rather than succumbing to the identification with this bite. So simply by being aware, the stinger is removed. There's a relief, a release. That is passing beyond self-centeredness. Here and now, a peaceful moment of open, spacious awareness. Immediate, moment by moment. The more we practice, the more we have glimpses into the reality of our true nature. Then we start having trust in our practice. We're developing certainty in the practice itself, not in the ignorance of reactive, habituated mind. So we have confidence that anytime I exhale, relax, look closely, and let go, merely see rather than identify with, we can find immediate peace of wakefulness and liberation. Not in the future that we call enlightenment as something we have to attain, but here and now. Short moments of inquiry, seeing, merely knowing, letting go, letting be. Liberation here and now. Immediate peace. This is our daily practice. For a few moments, question, mind looking where it is here and now. Attention turned inward. Not looking out at objects that we think is causing our experience, causing our reactions, causing our happiness and unhappiness. No, no, no. We turn attention inward. We're looking in with our immediate experience. So merely knowing, looking, recognizing, rather than being identified with our self-centeredness. So intellectually, we know there is no self, but you wouldn't know it by our behavior. We think we know that, but we keep acting self-centered. So we have to see the pain and make the contrast of what it feels like to be open-minded, open-bodied, open, relaxed, versus all caught up, fixated, reactive, self-centered reactivity, habituated, habit energy, karmic conditioning, propensities, Shenpa, whatever you want to call it. It's conditioning. So letting mind be its own instrument, letting attention and awareness be our own instrument to examine my mind. What is the attitude of my mind? Let mind examine itself. When that happens, there's an immediate result. Our own attitude allows the essence or the reality, our wakefulness, our liberation to emerge effortlessly, or it distances wakefulness. It leaves the moment of openness, of not knowing, of letting go, of merely knowing, and it just goes back on the wheel of becoming, lost in more distraction. So do we do this once in a session? So now I'm talking about formal meditation. Or do we do it 500 times? Well, some people will do it 800 times. The commitment is to let mind keep observing itself through all appearances. So there's awareness of appearances arising, awareness of how our mind is reacting to the appearances that are arising in our immediate experience. This is naked awareness of the arising and passing of all phenomena. That is wakefulness, letting mind find itself as no thing, as all things are coming and going. This is a living experience rather than postponing awakening into the future. And this is also allowing moments of non-duality. Because when we drop our fixation on me, the knower, and how I'm knowing is lost, and there's just the known as a process, but I am not aware of the process because I'm not turning mind in on itself. I'm keeping mind out there as an object that's causing my happiness and unhappiness, that's making me be satisfied, unsatisfied, for them, whatever. When I lose the awareness as the space in which all the appearances that are changing are coming and going, when I lose that openness, then I'm lost and I am dreaming again, and postponing my awakening. And this is the duality, that I know that rather than I know my own mind. I know what's arising in my mind. I know the reactions. I am aware of the naked experience. I'm using attention, vivid clarity, to know what's going on here. What are the contents of my experience and my reaction? So when we do this practice, we're not distancing ourselves from our own immediate reality. And literally, this is what it means to inquire and be an explorer, a real scientist with moment-to-moment experience. That's the object of our study, our experience, and how we are responding to it. So our present experience is our laboratory. And then, am I curious, open-minded, with a childlike intelligence, to really allow myself to merely know, to be curious and willing not to find the I in this experience, but to look and find nothing but awareness. That will only happen when we turn attention inward on the way our minds are selfing or acting, reacting in the moment of appearances. Okay, so there are these four. You can go listen to the 2 previous talks I gave if you want more details on the 4 seals or principles of reality versus the ignorant assumptions, unexamined, that are just habitually going round and round. And those 4 principles are our guidelines so we can expand our heart and gather merit. What kind of merit? The merit of goodwill, the merit of detachment, the merit of surrender, the merit of non-aggression, the merit of goodwill towards ourselves, our experience, and everyone else. So this is what the Buddha said: cultivate these 4 attitudes or aspirations. Again, they will be found in all the authentic traditions. 4 attitudes. The first one, being unbiased, impartial. That simply means you deserve my kindness, you don't. I don't like you and what you stand for. Oh, I agree with you. It's this kind of bias of our kindness, our loving kindness towards those that are close, those that are not, and not those who are far in our beliefs, etc. So there's this unbiased impartiality that is the how would you say, the potential of using our responsiveness to create more positive causes and conditions for our own mind stream and in relation to other people. Then there's being biased and partial that causes more suffering for ourselves because we're feeling it. How does it feel to be biased and partial? It doesn't feel good. Okay, so right there, how do we develop this attitude of being unbiased and impartial? Simply be aware of what's going on as it's happening. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your mind stream. The second attitude, cultivate moments of non-aggression. More moments of not being aggressive to my own immediate experience or in reaction to appearances, be they what I want or don't want. And then the attitude of altruistic goodwill towards self and other, that whatever's going on, you aspire to freedom. You aspire to letting go of any ill will you're harboring for yourself, your negative reactions, your fear, your disappointments. You simply merely know it and release it. In the merely knowing, you're taking the energy away from being identified with it, and you're abiding more with your awareness of your awareness. And when attention leaves the outer object and comes inward, when awareness meets awareness, there's a great spaciousness, a great release, a great recognition, a great relief from bondage. And then the fourth attitude, being open-minded, open-hearted, open-bodied, and being free of preconceived ideas about anything. This is being so naked, relaxed, and open that we're not elaborating with concepts. We're simply watching thoughts, not getting caught up in them, letting them go their own way. So this is being free of thoughts, not stopping thoughts, being aware, but not getting seduced. So that's our goal. And while we're practicing, as we become aware of attachment and aversion, we either let it go or we aspire. We make the prayer there and then. May there be more moments of impartiality rather than attachment and aversion to self and others. Right there, you recognize what's going on and you wish for freedom from that. That's mindfulness. May there be more moments of non-aggression in myself. I'm irritating you, I'm blaming you, I'm angry at you, you're disappointing me. Or may there be more moments of non-aggression with somebody out there who's irritating me, who's I'm disagreeing with, whatever it is. So you're asking for, may there be more moments of non-aggression for myself and for others, for this person specifically or for others everywhere. Oh, the Bodhisattva wishes for the happiness of beings. May there be less war. May there be more moments of goodwill, wishing well for everyone, myself included. That's altruism. Ending suffering for myself and others. And may there be more moments of being completely free and open without preconceived ideas. May there be more moments in everyone. And then, when I am all caught up, I recognize it and I make the aspiration, may this be otherwise. Then I just drop my thought, drop my prayer, drop everything, and simply be present as well as we can be. And this is how we can practice in a way all day long that really makes a difference in the short time we have left with our lives. So let's do a little meditation together, and then we'll open to sharing and questions. So our inquiry into our immediate experience, merely knowing, recognizing, rather than identifying with whatever is appearing in our emotions, our body, our senses, our mind stream. What's it like being here now, sitting on our cushion, aware of the sensations, aware of breath moving through our body, touching. Attention touches on these changing flux of experiences while resting in spacious knowing. Aware of sounds passing through, thoughts passing through, reactions passing through. Resting in the open space, the knowing, merely knowing, that is unchanging awareness, like space, knowing, appearances arising, displaying and dissolving. Sound being, yet not being. Changing phenomenal experience in awareness. Sound not a thing, simply awareness. Awareness through the sense of hearing. Hearing in the space of awareness. Sounds change, appear, disappear. In the unchanging openness, always already here, spacious knowing. Simultaneously, the openness, the groundless spaciousness, the unchanging awareness, and the flow, the energy of changing phenomena. Movement of appearances in the stillness of spacious openness, knowing. If a judgment arises towards myself or circumstance, I know that as unwholesome cause of suffering. Immediately, simply knowing that, I disidentify. That is an offering of ignorance into the space of pure knowing, wisdom, awareness. Recognizing expectation, merely knowing, letting it be, resting, exhaling, dissolving into the space around you. as our body relaxes with every exhalation, releasing through every cell of our body out into the space around us, practicing non-clinging to any phenomena. Not succumbing to sleepiness, laziness, but learning this art of deep relaxation and vivid, clear attention to all appearances, touching and letting go. You may begin to feel a subtle movement of energy in the space of awareness. At this time, you may wish to attend to the turning of the breaths from in-breath, where it turns to out-breath, where it turns to in-breath. So as you relax, you also remain vividly clear, bright, and luminous. Merely knowing, just knowing, nakedly experiencing. And the greatest goal is to recognize fixation and simply let it go with your out breath. Be it a thought, an expectation, an aversion. Simply know it and allow it to go its own way. Like space, aware and free. Ah. Well, let's dedicate the time we spent together with our attention and our intention to benefit ourselves and others, to end suffering, to be of service. Let's dedicate it to the benefit of our awakening and the awakening of all sentient beings. Peace. Thank you, everyone.